There are so many issues which show. For example, I hope you are aware, the womanhood in this country, you are a doctor, you must be knowing, the womanhood in this country has a terrible problem of anemia. Anemia. Anemic. NHRC has taken note of it. You know what they said? When we talk about women's, I am not talking about sexual health or reproductive health, the basic human health, the problem of anemia, nutrition. Thousands, lakhs of people, crores of women in this country, NHRT has taken up. And they started some kind of problem. What I am saying is, there you don't find a redressal approach, there a constructive contributory approach. People who cannot afford, people who cannot, therefore they must be given the kind of, because the moment the girl or woman attains the reproductive age group, we need to take care, because she is going to give birth to another person. In that way, a constructive and contributive approach is something very, very important. That's why when I said preventive and promotive, judicial response we don't find much. Because when we go to the court, they think that a compensation, they will pay you 25,000 and they ask you to go. That maybe in a way addresses the issue of the individual patient who received the treatment and who is in need of treatment. But there are various other people who cannot go to court of law, who doesn't have knowledge about how to protest an issue, who doesn't understand human right, whatever education we are talking, and they suffer in silence. That is where promotive and preemptive is something which is makes. Therefore, when it comes to that, still I think we have not reached a stage where the health is viewed from a judicial point of view as a comprehensive requirement in terms of those facets. No doubt the Supreme Court and various high courts have delved into various judgments, etc. For instance, one important area which Supreme Court has done, I felt the most constructive work. Ultimately, it got fizzled off. That's a different matter. Because any litigation cannot sustain the time, please remember. You can't expect a Supreme Court to go on doing the same thing for 10 years unless the public support and various other factors support that movement. It's very, very difficult. For instance, the Supreme Court's approach about the feticide, female feticide, something a remarkable work that has been done. In fact, looked into and see small things which I don't think any one of us we really take note of. You remember earlier class I asked you, you are an orthopedician, you will have a scan. Are you expected to register with the authority under PNDT Act? You said yes. Then I said you are not a gynec, you are not an obstetrician. Supreme Court made it clear. You know what the Supreme Court said? It doesn't matter whether you are a gynec or obstetrician, etc., etc. What is required is, if there is a potential misuse of the machine, if you have a machine, if there is a potential misuse, naturally we need to curtail that. And Supreme Court went one step ahead. You know what? Whenever you are procuring a CT scan machine, you must inform the authority. The person who is using the scan machine, he must register. The place where it is used, that also. People asked, why place is required, Jogara? Because, see, after all, we know how things happen in the CT scan. Everybody thought it will be installed like a place and it will be a permanent establishment. People do not know there are portable CT scans, which means I can come to your house and do the thing and go. That is possible. Huh? Ultrasound. I mean ultrasound. Okay, portable. Where people said that is the reason why the place where you are using, the place must also be registered. The machine must be registered. The person must be registered. Why? For what purpose? For what purpose? People realized Punjab and Haryana state, one particular village they did not maintain. Hey, what happened to that village? No, that village got disappeared. No, why? No girls for the last 22 years. How come? No girl population for the last 22 years. Amazing. People then started realizing the gender balance which you need to maintain. That's where Sehat filed a writ petition before the Supreme Court and Bombay High Court thereafter, and then Supreme Court came out and said this is the act which, in fact, in the light of Supreme Court directives only, the 1994 amendment, the act was amended in the year 2003 and made it much more stringent. Please remember, this kind of thing, we are not talking in terms of an individual doctor. No, we are talking about a process which prevents a particular gross human rights violation.
Instead of the father of the girl to pay the dowry, the father of the boy to pay the dowry, why not change? Yes, because all the other countries, that's what they do. Why don't this thing change so that they will have more girls than trying to eliminate all the girls?
Correct. Correct. Now, but one thing I am happy. Yes, it is matter of demand and supply. Now, because who is demanding, who is supplying, that is the only varies. We are following a system now. He wants the actors to be changed. Our friend, that is the only thing. I am coming to that. Please remember, may I draw attention? The question what you have asked, no doubt, is pertaining to dowry. But in a human rights class, I relate it to cultural human right. Okay? For example, culture practice does not legitimize the practice itself, please remember. You know, the global debate about genital mutilation came out very clearly. We said no, under no circumstances. No, culturally, hundreds of years we are doing this, that. We said no, you are not supposed to, because it is a violation of a human right. Similarly, dowry, the question doesn't matter. In fact, you will be surprised to know, in Indian culture, there are some communities where the dowry is paid by man to the woman. Not only that, you will be surprised to know, normally woman goes to man's house. There are some cultures where man goes to woman's house. There are. Cultural. See, yeah, my point is, the human right perspective is, who goes to whose house, I am not concerned. Please, wherever you feel comfortable, you go there. But don't commit dowry death. That's what I am concerned. Because, no, I did not kill her in my house. I killed her in her own house. Did I do any wrong? No. Because the practice of taking or receiving dowry is an offense. And any kind of discriminatory, cruel, assault, any offense which extends to harm to the body is also an offense. For example, cruelty, for example, it includes mental. I don't beat or I don't assault. The way I look at my wife, that may be harassing. The way I talk to my friends in her presence, that is harassment. Because, see, after all, human mind is so innovative, no? Yeah. That's what men think. When it comes to the harassment of spouse, I can tell you, any sort of, whether physical or mental or anything, all these are construed as offensive conduct and to be absolute. Now, culturally, many people, they try to justify, but I think we have reached a stage where it is absolutely unacceptable. Therefore, question doesn't arise. No doubt we have failed, we admit. We have failed in curbing this practice, because, may I tell you one thing, the cultural rights when we talk about, particularly the family of institution, the social acceptability, something, it cuts into the legal enforcement. That is the reason why we call victimless crimes. For example, you pay me bribe and I take the bribe. Who is the victim? There is no victim. Huh? No, I have taken the bribe and she got the work from me. Is she the victim? No. Am I the victim? No. System is the victim, society is the victim. I am not concerned. They are called victimless crimes. Similarly, dowry. I pay the dowry, you take the dowry. When people acceptability is there, please remember, legal enforcement is very difficult. Therefore, what I want to tell you is, when it comes to the entire debate now, no doubt the judicial response with regard to the curative aspects and individual redressal, some kind of sensitivity you find. But when it comes to the larger perspectives, except for one or two areas, by and large, it is left. And from that I construe and I infer that many people, no, this cannot be allowed. If it is, Pandora's box will be opened. In such a case, floodgate. How do we respond? That is the reason why in the constitutional law lecture, I mentioned to you, there are two important chapters in Constitution of India. One is fundamental rights, another is directive principles of state policy. Please remember, directive principles of state policy, they are meant for the people who are involved in governing the country. fundamental rights are meant for the individuals. Okay? Directive principles of state policy make it very clear that you have to take initiate appropriate measures with regard to highest attainable standard of health, etc., etc. But Supreme Court felt, no, not only as a directive principle, because if the government doesn't do anything, what do we do? Therefore, they said it is to be construed as a constitutional fundamental right as well. That is how it is brought under Article 21 of the Constitution. But still the major area in it comes to in India, the human rights vis-a-vis the health. I think the focus merely on health care, as I told you, but not health as a comprehensive foundational requirement. Maybe in terms of in future, slowly, unless and until the systems made very, very strong, they may not be able to take that kind of response. Forget about judicial response. Even when it comes to governance, we are not very sure how to tackle the affordability issue, how to make the health care accessible to a poor person. What do we do? I think that is where the debates are going on. But we come out with some kind of solution, etc., many people, but that solution also is riddled with a lot of problems. That is where we are not in a very, very happy situation as of now. No doubt some kind of experimental processes are being. For instance, I told you, many people feel that on one hand, the market economy encouraged to be, on the other hand, the public health where insurance help is to be taken and see that affordable care is provided for the needy. That is the kind of experimentation. But even with regard to that, as I told you last class, medical negligence, one important area which threatens the very existence and sustenance of insurance in healthcare is the kind of frauds that are committed. And fraud is also a victimless crime. I am the card holder, you are the doctor, she is the owner of the hospital. All three of us, we sit together, beautifully prepare everything in such a manner. Insurance. Yesterday's Times of India headline, have you seen? Hindu, okay. The Times of India is very important. You know why? In this country, for a change, three professionals joined together. Normally they are adverse. Three professionals: police, doctors, and lawyers. Ambulance case. 400 crores for a change. They joined together. I thought for a positive purpose. Then I realized 400 crores. That is the half audit revealed. Full audit will reveal 1,000 crores. What actually you are doing? Very simple. Bus meets with some involved in an accident. Joga Rao, doctor gives a certificate, right leg fully, disability, etc. Doctor gives a thing. He underwent so many operations, 3,20,000. The hospital thing, all the documents, lawyer comes, affidavit, notary, everything perfect, laser print, and before the court. Court looks in, oh, this is what happened, etc. Case RTC, you play 92 lakhs, finished. Next case, come on, 32 lakhs, next case. Then they realized 140 cases, these kind of fake documents have been introduced. Only one thing is true, the human ingenuity. You know what is that? The bus involved in the accident is true. Hospital is a fake. Hospital is fake means not that hospital is not there. We have not reached that stage. Hospital is there. Doctor is there. They give fake documents. The person who claims that he is injured in the accident, in fact, he is watching movie in PVR cinema at that moment. His name is given, his etc. and claims money. Friends, the deliverable is very important in a country. Unless you check the deliverable, people will take the system to ransom. You know why? One thing which unites every one of us, maybe a couple of exceptions here and there, honorable exceptions, that is, everybody wants money. Tell me honestly whether you want money or not. Frankly, you tell me. Every one of us. Every one of us, right? If the bait of money is shown, everything falls in line. That is what has been shown in yesterday Karnataka. And we are the role models. Superpowers. IT, no? IT, BT comes from here. And we are also superpowers in faking documents. The kind of fraud we commit. Crores of rupees, public money. Police involved, lawyers involved, doctors involved. Therefore, when we talk about health care in terms of a implementable scheme, experiential things are being addressed, whether insurance can be done, whether we can do this, etc. Unless you take note of this particular, I am sure doctor will support me when I say, it is not that in a country like USA, fraud is unthinkable. There the fraud is committed in a remarkable technological way. That is the reason why, please take note of your USA, take 6, 1 second I will complete, 6 cities in USA, top cities. The major problem is credit card fraud. Credit card fraud, the major, yeah, I will tell you, it is some kind of thing, we have not reached that stage, because whatever said and done, poverty, illiteracy is there among our criminals as well. If the criminals were to get that, they will show the world we can also do. You know why? For the last 7 years, the kind of work that has been done in a country like US and Australia, you know, the major landmark development, in my opinion, please correct me if I am wrong, is the emergence of HIPAA. Emergence of HIPAA, if you look into, people asked, what is this HIPAA? Why do we require in American context? HIPAA is a very simple legislation. It is a legislation which deals with PHI, personal health information. Whoever who comes in connection with PHI, they are under an obligation to follow a formality. If not, you are to be subjected to accountability. That is the reason why 2 words which are used in HIPAA, one is portability, another one is accountability. You know, HIPAA has made tremendous positive impact on deliverable. How you are dealing with the information, what kind of, because those people know what is the potential of committing a fraud. It's not that it is unthinkable. No, even in America also, please correct me, people do want, only thing is in India we want rupee, there they want dollar, that's the only thing. Everybody wants money.